And joining us in the middle to talk about Athletic Club Boise is Brad Stith, the, I guess, CEO. Is that the fairest title, Brad? What do we want to call you?
Yeah, CEO and co-founder is perfect.
All right. So he is the co-founder of Athletic Club Boise. This, by the way, is a video segment, so you not only can hear us, but can see us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can see the new hats for Athletic Club Boise. We have the scarves looking good as well. So how did all this come about? The name, the color scheme, how did everything get ready to be launched on Friday night?
It was an awesome process, honestly. Going back 10 weeks, once we broke ground on March 27th, we started doing listening sessions throughout the community. And you're looking at 80 to 100 people that we invited to each one of those. We literally went down our deposit list because it was, really random, and just wanted to make sure we had, people from all over the valley. So, Nampa, Caldwell, Emmett, Cuna, Star, Boise, Meridian, obviously, and just bringing our community together, listening to, the names that really spoke to them and what got them excited on that side. Going through a few of these sessions, we've got 36 pictures of Boise where you basically do a sticker pull with everybody that's there. And really on those, we wanted, what parts of Boise bring you the most joy? Like, why do you love living here? And where do you see one? And it just warms your heart and makes you smile, right? And then the third phase of those listening sessions, we're really going through crest, Premier League, Liga, MLS, USL, and getting a good understanding of which ones really spoke to people. And of course, we had a lot of Timbers and Sounders fans that were like, Timbers and Sounders speak to us a ton. But as everything came together, the one thing we didn't anticipate is, as much as it was clear, is on the crest side, like the ones that had birds were just dominating the voting. Even like Union Omaha, who's got an owl, in Tulsa, so USL teams, but a lot of the more traditional big global names that have strong eagles or birds as part of their crests were definitely getting a lot of love. And so as we put everything together, I mean, you look at the entire soccer ecosystem in the United States, and you look at our local teams here and what might make the most sense. I mean, foundationally, we're the city of trees. And then when you incorporate the Bass flag and the Bass green, I think that was a pretty easy, organic decision to come to, that separates us from definitely most of the professional soccer ecosystem in the United States.
As you look at coming together with some of the logos, how'd you come up with the lightning bolt?
So that was really we've got the World Center of Birds of Prey here. Like, growing up here in elementary school, we all went there, and the peregrine was, endangered when I was on my third or fifth grade field trip, whenever that was. And so coming back, I mean, the peregrine's a great story, but I mean, it's the fastest animal on earth, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's only one of them, and it being able to dive 240, 250 miles per hour, which, if you think about, is pretty insane that any animal could do that. I mean, it's lightning fast. And so I think from a marketing perspective, Jenny Myers and her team at Against just did a phenomenal job incorporating the fact that, yes, it's a peregrine, but there's a much stronger, fiercer metaphor around that. And then you bring in, the kind of lightning and thunderstorms that Idaho is really known for during the summer. And we've got some of the best, action in the sky when that comes. And so there are a lot of different ways, but every single element in that crest is definitely 100% Idaho. It's all Treasure Valley, and it's all Boise. And like, going through them spot by spot, which I'm sure we'll talk about, we wanted to make sure that every single element was about home.
Brad Stith, he is the CEO and co-founder of Boise Pro Soccer, which is now known as AC Boise. Athletic Club Boise United Soccer League will begin its debut in the spring of 2026. A women's team coming in 2027, a 30-year stadium lease out there at Expo Idaho. And you guys are going to become one of the more dominant sports franchises here in the state of Idaho. I cannot wait to see how this thing grows. I got a really dumb question. Is it really weird? My perception that soccer crests are more important than sports logos in the United States. Is that true? I mean, it seems like the soccer crest is so important to your sport. And I know a logo is to every professional sports team, but it just seems like there's more passion and more thought and more to it than just a logo of whatever.
I think that logos are important in all sports. I think,
Sure.
I think we get it, but it's the one sport where you have that logo over your heart, and I think that that is intrinsic to the global community that supports soccer, right? But if you want to talk about why, it's so important to every fan of every club, it's because every time they put on that authentic kit or every T-shirt, they're bringing it right here. Every time they take that scarf, they're pulling it right here. It's just a little different, and I don't think that you're wrong there. I mean, obviously, fandom is what it is, but if you see soccer and the passion that's around it, and we used to just always have to compare globally, but I mean, you look at what's happening right now in the Club World Cup and what's happening in the Gold Cup and the US, attendance was a little bit interesting the first couple games, but you look at last night and the excitement around it. Now that we're in the quarterfinals and going to the semifinals and playing on Wednesday. The World Cups, I mean, it's no secret the World Cup's coming down the pipe next year. And, the Club World Cup was a precursor to that. And you can start seeing that every single time that we have a global event here in the United States, it ratchets up, especially on the men's side. The women have been dominant for a long time, and women's attendance on the, especially for the national team, has been just epic for as long as I can remember. But the men's team and the entire growth of soccer, you can see. But back to your logo part, it is the most critical thing for you to get right, and making sure that it speaks to your fan base and speaks to what they care about most about their home.
And you spent a lot of time doing that. And I wanted to kind of dive into the logo a little bit, and it's out there and about, and I'm not sure how you can pick that up, but it's everything from the top of the mountains to the bottom of the Treasure Valley to the Star Garnet. By the way, my wife likes that one because she's a rock hound.
Awesome.
To the agricultural lines of the great agriculture history of the state of Idaho. It's got the Basque green. It's my favorite color of green. I love this color of green. It's got the diving lightning bolt peregrine falcon striking and being ferocious. I think I covered most of it's got the Basque font when it comes to the Boise. I think I've gotten most details in this. This thing is more than just a badge. This thing is more than just a crest. This thing tells a stinking story, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, without question. We were super intentional about that. We wanted to make sure that as we went through the story and the tradition and just everything about the crest, that people were going to be able to, go to other cities and really walk them through. Because when you do go to, you're on an away game and people are like, "Hey, love your crest. What's it mean?" Because every crest means something, right? And for us, there's one more Easter egg in there. I'll share a little later. But, I think that when you look at all those elements, I don't think there's any question that it screams Boise and screams the Treasure Valley without question.
We're visiting with Brad Stith. He is with Athletic Club Boise, AC Boise, the USL League One soccer team that's going to begin debuting in March of 2026. Brad, how are things going out at the stadium? I mean, normally a lot of times when somebody's trying to come up with a new or renovated venue for the games, takes a while. What's the biggest challenge?
There's not right now. I mean, we're completely on our construction timeline. I think you can hit our social media today, and it's got us doing this right here. But construction started this morning about 7 a.m. So scaffolding's up. We're going to do some light demo and some paint before the fair, and so all the exteriors and most of the interior is going to be painted, and then the outside of the turf club will also be redone, and then we'll wait for the fair to go through, the concert series there. And then the second the concert series is over, then we're moving dirt and putting down the pitch and bringing in, all those components, building out, the outer part of the stadium that's not inherent to the grandstand. So, and, everything's modular. So our timelines are very, very succinct. The 1,400 club seats that we're bringing in, they were the same club seats that got spec'd at Hard Rock where the Dolphins play.
Okay.
And so, no, I mean, it's going to be a much different feel. And I mentioned it Friday night to the crowd. I was like, "Hey, this is the last time you're going to see it look like this," because we knew on Saturday we're doing cleanup, and on Monday, you're getting work done. So no, we're on it, and we anticipate everything being done a few months before we kick off in March.
All right, Brad Stith, Mr. Boise Soccer. Let's dive deep into this name, AC Boise. We can call it AC Boise, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. AC Boise Athletic Club Boise. Now we're learning the story, and we have in the past because of the dabbling of soccer history here in Boise, Athletic Club Bilbao and AC Bilbao. I don't think AC Milan has anything to do with that Athletic Club. I think that's a whole nother thing.
A whole other thing.
It's just the two of them, and obviously the Basque tie-ins here. So I get the story, but I want to hear it from you. AC Boise, what does that mean and why?
So first and foremost, we wanted to be innovative and unique and yet traditional. And Athletic Club Boise coming online, like we were the only active athletic club in the entire United States, in the entire professional ecosystem.
Wow.
So that part was important because we're like, hey, we want to be one-on-one when it comes to this name. At the same time, you can't ignore the Basque tradition and the influence they have in our community and the great traditions that they're bringing. I mean, Hyaldi's here again right at the end of July, which is
love that event,
which is going to be a blast.
Yes.
But I think when we looked at what's unique and where do we tie in, and then we went. I mean, we had thousands of answers on name, crest, and color surveys, right? And
you didn't take mine, by the way. Mine was Boise FC Peregrines. Dang it, you didn't do that one.
Yeah, you came up with it after the teasers, though. So I did.
I cheated. I looked at your video.
Yeah, so I think that, I mean, one thing about the surveys, people were definitely between traditional names, super heavy, whether it was FC Boise, Athletic Club Boise, Boise Athletic. I mean, there were some very traditional names at the top of that list. And when you get that kind of community feedback and that kind of strength, and you've got people like at the start, we didn't have Athletic Club Boise, kind of in the bullet list, and people kept writing it in. So then we added it, and then it just continued to get more momentum and more momentum. Really? And so I think we had AC Boise, but not Athletic Club spelled out, and people kept correcting it. They're like optional Athletic Club. I mean, so
nice.
I think that, when you bring the community in to help you make decisions, then it gives you the data that you know what you're leaning towards is one way or another. It's going to, prove you right or prove you wrong. And when you're committed to listening to the community and bringing them, as part of that decision-making process, it enabled us to get to where, somewhere that we knew was special and one-of-one in the professional ecosystem right now, and gives us a great launching point. I mean, the feedback's been incredible.
What about then the logo? I mean, the mascot. I mean, every sports team has to have a furry critter running around somewhere. And I think I read somewhere deep in all your press releases, you guys put out so much information the last couple of days. It's crazy. And it's really, really cool. But the mascot, I believe, is a peregrine, but he's not in the name, or, I mean, kind of talk to me about a mascot type of thing.
Yeah, we haven't. I want that part to be organic. I think,
okay.
I think that the community is going to come up with what it is. I mean, automatically people are like, hey, we're the Falcons, we're the Peregrines, we're that. And then when you see the video that we launched on Friday that really takes it through visually and people can really understand and get tied to it, and quick education on it. But I mean, mostly it's the hype and excitement around it. And Friday night, it was loud. I mean, it was insane on a couple of those things, especially when the Peregrine was shown and the lightning bolt came through, right? But for now, it's like not going to pin a mascot. I mean, are we going to have something that obviously, I mean, we're about impacting families and having fun and doing great things for kids. And obviously kids love a mascot. And so what that ends up being, we'll figure out over the next few months, but we wanted to leave it open and we'll see where we go.
All right. So help me out with the lingo here then. If I say, hey guys, let's go to the soccer match tonight, and my neighbor says, who's playing? Do I say AC Boise? Do I say Athletic Club Boise? Do I say Boise? I mean, what do I, because usually I could say who's playing tonight, and it's, the Broncos against the Aztecs.
Yeah, no, exactly. And Friday night, I heard all of those. So, I mean, I had people screaming like, go Athletic, right? And so Athletic is a standalone moniker, makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
AC Boise makes
so that works. Athletic works.
Yeah, Athletic works.
AC.
And then AC Boise obviously makes a lot of sense too. So I think that based on, like I literally walked the merch line backwards after I had finished interviews and shook hands and asked what they thought and what they wanted to call us, and literally serpentine my way down. But I wanted the feedback, right? Because they were there and they were super pumped, and obviously, they wanted to take something home that had the logo and a representation and what that night meant to them. And so, but no, it was a pretty good balance between AC Boise and Athletic as far as what people wanted to call us. So I think, again, organically, now that this is a living, breathing thing, you let that take off, and where we land is where we land.
I love it.
Yep.
Visiting with Brad Stith. He is with AC Boise, CEO of the team. you've helped, reading your background, you've helped other teams start in this U.S. League.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So what's different? What's more special about starting from scratch and being involved at the bottom? Because a lot of times these teams have gone on for a long time, and somebody buys the team, and they may have a rebrand, or they may move it to another city. But you're starting this thing, logo, name, crest, stadium. I mean, you're even redoing the stadium. You got to get talent.
Yep.
This is different than just sort of taking over from somebody that has the team going.
Yeah, there's no question. And it's a big lift. I mean, but it's an exciting, like, awe-inspiring sometimes. Like, trust me, like the adrenaline rush I had on Friday night, I didn't go to bed till 4, right? I mean, it's like you're hyped. It's finally out there. To Mike's point earlier, like sitting on the logo as long as we did and not having anything come out and finally getting through that hurdle of, okay, we made it. And all the media coverage we had and it being live on TV and being able to bring families in that weren't just able to be there in person. I think that as you go through those processes, I mean, this one obviously means the most to me. I mean, it's home, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm here for the long haul when it comes to leading this club, and our ownership group is everyone besides Steve is local. Steve Patterson, who's one of our co-founders, who hired me at the Trailblazers. And, you know, when you've got an incredibly committed ownership group like that and going through the process, I mean, I'll tell you, none of the owners had one iota as far as they were like, hey, like, go through the process, let it take its course. Nobody interjected their opinions. I mean, it's the kind of ownership group you want. But it's also the trust they had, I think, in our founding group that we were going to land on a spot where the community was going to be super excited, but making them part of that. I mean, you had to make them part of the process to get to where we ended up. And so no question, it's a big lift, but at the same time, you know, it's always good to know where the bodies are buried. So when you can go through and do it in different markets that are very, very different than Boise. I mean, Boise's one of one. I mean, I think people that live here know that
100%.
And I mean, there's a reason that we're going to break every single season ticket record that the USL has ever had. And that's breaking MLS team records, because the next records that will eclipse are actually Nashville and Cincinnati when they started off as USL teams and went to the MLS. But, you know, when you sell 1,500 season tickets in the first 3 hours, when you go on sale, you know the community's there. And then it just keeps going and going and going. And 1,200 people didn't have to meet with us in the last 10 weeks, but they wanted to, right? And that's families taking time, like CEOs taking time, you know, nonprofit leaders taking time. And so when people want to be engaged and want to have a voice and also just want to help you build something, like the most important part of every professional team is it's got to be built by the community and have that support. And you're seeing it full force right now.
And I think you're pushing somewhere close to 4,500 season ticket deposits now, and just growing every single day. That counter in your computer every morning just grows. But let's talk swag, and we need to get you out of here and jump on a little bit. But first of all, before we give away some swag, in terms of if you want to get involved, if you want swag, if you want to know dates, if you want to drop some money on a season ticket deposit, where do you go?
Everything's at acboise.com.
Okay.
So go to acboise.com. You can join our newsletter. We put newsletters out almost every Friday as far as updates and what we're doing. Obviously, our social channels with Insta and Facebook and Twitter /X. I just still can't call it X.
I know.
But you know, we're really active, as you know, on the social side. That we're you know, my marketing team is dialed in and they're doing a fantastic job.
I think they do amazing work.
Yeah,
I really do, and I don't say that lightly. But all right, let's give some swag. You guys wanted to make it the third caller. Let's make Greg back here work just a little bit more than 3 callers. So what are we giving away? Are we going to give away a hat? Bob and I are wearing these new hats.
Yep.
We got these scarves, and you brought some stuff in. We're going to give away some stuff throughout the rest of the week.
Yep, we got hats, scarves, and stickers and flags. So today we're going to go a hat, a scarf, and a sticker.
Let's go a hat, a scarf, and a sticker. Let's go caller number 12. Caller number 12 today. So maybe we can get some of the online, the streaming guys a chance to jump in there a little bit. We have a delay because Bob swears all the time. So we have to worry about that. So let's get those guys involved because those guys are very important today. So 12th caller, let's hook you guys up with a bunch of swag and acboise.com.
acboise.com.
Everything else.
Yep.
We're going to bring you on in a couple months and we're going to be that much closer. After the fair, the stadium is going to go crazy. We'll bring you on then.
Absolutely.
All right,
it's going to be super fun.
Appreciate it, Brad Stith.
So good to see you, Mike.
Brad, thanks so much.
Yep.
Enjoyed meeting you.
Yep.
Enjoyed talking with you. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on with Pac-12 sports. Texas State is the newest member of the Pac-12. The league has their 8. Talk a little more about that next on Sports Radio The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studio, this is Ticket Traffic.
For just $100 at homeraffle.org, you could win a brand new 7